everyone. Welcome to week 2 of our Geographic Information Science class, Geog 155 Lab. I have it currently on the student view for Canvas. So if you go to modules, you'll go to module 2, Geographic Data, and I would like you all to complete this Word document called Lab Assignment Number 2 and to download it. And just like our previous lab assignment, you will be downloading this as a Word document and typing in your answers following the steps that are listed here. So for deliverables, you will be submitting the Word document on Canvas, answering the following questions as you read through the 5-part series. So again, please click on the links throughout this Word document. And also you will be completing 3 maps following the tutorials from Esri, and it will be in the same format based on printing, using the printing option and creating a title, using a legend, putting the copyright date, author, so the same format. So if you click on this, you'll be directed to the 5-part series from Esri. And here you will be learning essential demographic data skills. This is a set of foundational tutorials designed to provide new users with the tools and resources for working with a global collection of demographic data. So again, these are, as you scroll through it, there is part 1, the story of data, part 2, data about people, part 3, work with spatial data, part 4, pair demographic and spatial data, and part 5, which you'll be exploring an interactive map and again creating your final map here. But the other 2 maps listed from your Word document, they are found within the 5-part series. So I do want to click on part 1, the story of data. This is a story map, and as you read through the story map, you will be answering questions from your Word document. And I do have it downloaded here on my MacBook. But here somewhere, let's see. Yeah, so I have it here, and I do want us to go over the first couple of questions on where you could find it on your story map. So on your story map, you have tabs here such as what is data, information about data organization, work with layers. So for part 1, the story of data, which is the first part of the series, what are the 2 types of data, and provide examples of both types. So as you go through the story map, you will find the 2 types of data. And here we have it underneath the data organization. The 2 types of data are qualitative and quantitative. So these are your 2 types of data. You'll give examples by reading through the story map. And I will scroll down through it briefly. And then as you get to the bottom of the story map, it says in the next section of this tutorial series, you'll use the data literacy lens to focus on a genre of people-based data known as demographic data. So again, click on that next series and you will be directed to part 2, data about people, and this is linked to your Word document. And here as you scroll down after answering the questions and You see part 2, data about people, and then answering questions about that story map. And then here we have part 3, work with spatial data, answering those questions. And again, we can see here in part 3, you will be creating the map the highest mountains, and you will be providing a screenshot of your final map and including your map link. And I passed it previously, but in part 1, you will be completing the tutorial called Get Started with ArcGIS Living Atlas of the World, and you will only be completing 2 of the following tutorials, which are highlighted here. If you click on this link, it will direct you to this website, and then again you will be following the steps. In this outline you see 3 tutorials listed, but I only highlighted these 2. Explore the ArcGIS Living Atlas website, as well as use ArcGIS Living Atlas in ArcGIS Online or ArcGIS Enterprise. We are not using ArcGIS Pro, and I do want to go over the last tutorial with all of you, the last map tutorial. So let's go to our Word document. Before you start part 5, you will have a reflection question, number 29. So again, take some time to reflect on what you've learned. Did anything surprise you as you were reading through the story maps or completing the map tutorials? Or what was exciting or challenging, and what do you want to explore more in depth? But simply let's go over our last map together. Please complete the following tutorial, explore spatial data. And for this one, you will need to download the PDF. So you will use census data to map populations by generation for business expansion. Click download here, and it will show on this. It will show up on a separate tab. This is only 15 minutes long, and the difficulty, it's beginner friendly. And you're a co-owner of a small chain of travel agencies with locations in the Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and Chicago areas. You and your business partners are interested in expanding your travel services this year to include luxury travel tours, and preliminary internet research has convinced you that the baby boomer generation, people born between 1946 and 1964, is your most promising target market. To help you decide where to expand, you'll find a public web map in ArcGIS Living Atlas of the World and visually analyze it to assess and compare the agency location options. As you work through the steps in this tutorial, you'll use the following skills: opening a map from ArcGIS Living Atlas, exploring the map using bookmarks and pop-ups, and using predominant smart mapping to compare the viability of different locations based on the predominant target market. So again, we are going to go to this link here. Okay, when I clicked on that link, it changed me to this web map, but again, click on the download, the link here on the PDF document. So we do see the same type of map and legend on our web browser here. This map highlights the predominant generations that make up the population of the United States. The predominant generation is the generation with the largest population compared to the other generations in a given area. So let's examine the legend on our map here. So here we have legend, we have the predominant category. So we have 2018 baby boomer population, showing us it as a purple diamond. And then we could see here, for example, a green diamond represents the 2018 Generation Z population born between 1999 to 2016. So it's very important when you're opening a map to look at the legend and see what the legend is about. I do want to open this side by side on both sides of my screen to make it easier. And again, you can do this on your end too when you are working on these lab assignments. And I'm going to close the legend, and you could always access the legend here on the contents toolbar. Okay, so next, it's saying use bookmarks and pop-ups. So on the Content Start toolbar, click Bookmarks and click Los Angeles. So here we have the Bookmarks tab. We are going to click on Los Angeles. So again, the map zooms into Los Angeles. At the zoom level, the generational population data is broken down by census tract area. And again, the United States Census tracts divide state counties into smaller geographic areas, which are useful for revealing local spatial patterns. And we can see here, based on this map, that the millennial generation is the predominant generation in most of the census tracts around Los Angeles. And again, we could see here, based on the legend that I clicked on the contents toolbar, that it is predominantly the blue diamond, which represents the 2018 millennial population, those that are born between 1981 to 1998. Now it wants you to zoom in one level and pan as needed to center the map around Los Angeles. Your travel agency is located west of the Harbor Freeway near the Hollywood Freeway, which is surrounded by millennial generation census tracts. So let's go to the search icon here. And in the search box, type Harbor Freeway and Hollywood Freeway and select the first result that appears. Okay, so it looks like, okay, let's just click on, type in Harbor Freeway. To see if it will zoom into this area like we have here. Harbor Freeway. Okay, so it's still giving me the same results, which is a little different from the screenshot here. So I do want to move it to the screenshot. Okay, so this looks pretty much like the screenshot. Here we have Pico Rivera, Whittier, and Santa Fe Springs showing here. So again, if it's not leading you directly to this section here of Los Angeles, you can press and hold your screen. So hold it and then drag your screen to direct you to this area. So close the search result pop-up, zoom out, and click the teal symbol for the census tract to the west of the intersection of the two freeways. Okay. Let's zoom in a little more here. So again, the predominant generation living here is millennial population, and the population has the following counts: silent generation, baby boomer, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha. So again, click other nearby census tracts to view their pop-ups. Now we're going to see Washington, D.C. So let's go to the bookmarks again, and we'll go to Washington, D.C. And next, we are going to zoom in towards the center of the city. So to zoom in, you can use this zoom icon here on the bottom right corner of your screen. And it states here, your travel agency is northwest of the city center near the Potomac River. There are predominantly millennials, teal census tracts in this area. Okay, let's zoom in. And it wants us to click on this census tract here. I believe it's that one. Okay, it's this one. So you just have to zoom in a little more, and this is tract 1100100106.00. And again, this predominant generation living here, it is millennial population born between 1981 to 1998. And it wants us to click on other tracts in the area that and note the baby boomer populations in those tracts. So again, we can see here a different tract, and we know the predominant generation living here is the millennial population. Now we will be going to the Chicago bookmark and zooming in until you see the label for near north side. Okay, let's let the map load. So let's zoom in, and again click on the zoom icon. Okay, so it looks like we are in that area here. And the population of baby boomers is nearly 700, but millennials are not far behind with a population of about 500. So we can see here, this is the same block group like we see here on the tutorial. The predominant generation living here is baby boomer population, and the population has the following counts, which is silent generation, baby boomer, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha. But we do see predominance millennials in this area, but we do see a cluster of purple baby boomer tracks close to Lake Michigan. And this is where the travel agency is located. So again, it wants us to review the pop-ups for the other purple tracks to take note of their baby boomer populations. And when you add the baby boomer populations from these tracks together, the total number of baby boomers is significant. Most importantly, all the tracks are in close proximity to your Chicago travel agency. It looks like you may have found the best place to launch your luxury travel service. So after only 15 minutes of work, you found a publicly available web map in ArcGIS Living Atlas, visually analyzed it using tools in Map Viewer, and answered an important business question based on your exploration. And again, in this tutorial, it gives you other options to look at further tutorials to expand your horizons, especially when it comes to finding the best location for an agency, a business, or stores, malls. So in this case, you will be zooming into this area and saving your map and printing it. Okay, so after you click on the print option here, click print, and you can label your title here, Chicago Travel Agency, because this is a potential spot that you would like to put your travel agency at. And you can label your title any way you want, but I do want you to be creative and link it to what your map is about. So in my case, I will label it Chicago Travel Agency, and make sure you set your scale. I have Chicago right there. Put your author, your name, and your copyright, and include your legend and north arrow, and export it and take a screenshot of that map. Okay, thank you all for watching.